Welcome, dear students, to this class. Today, this is my favorite topic, and usually my students, they tell me like my life has changed once we covered this topic. That's why I would like you to sit in front of the camera and try yourself just immediately, just with me, just right now, because today we're talking with you about archetype. What is archetype? How do you use it, and how to use it in the appropriate way, in the right moment, on the right audience, and in the right way? Because actually archetype is the model of behavior, so everybody has its own his or her own archetype, and it's really very important thing for you to know how to use it, how to apply this model of behavior to your presentations. Why do you need it, and how to use it in the right way? Today we're talking about that. But first of all, I'll tell you a little bit about what is archetype, how we can use it, which one is yours, and what are those archetypes which we're talking about today. There are three of them, like major main three archetypes, between which you can choose which one works better for you. Let's say it's like a model of behavior. So if you feel like you're using all of your power and energy in front of the camera, or if your dream is to create a travel show, or let's say a psychological show, this is your time. This is your moment to get this archetype and apply it in a right and correct way. So what is required here? What is the model of behavior? What it consists of? So let's talk about that in a few minutes. First thing, you need to know, like, you have a checklist of different skills and tools, let's say tools, which we covered before in all of our previous classes. That's why this archetype, it comes only here. And I'm super happy to announce you that this is super easy to apply all of that techniques. That's why your intonation, remember we talked about with you about intonation, we talked about with you about different gestures, your eye contact, everything like that, your speech pace, your pitch range, everything works here for you in order to perform some archetype. That's why in this class I'll walk you through different archetypes, how to use them, which circumstances and audience requires the appropriate archetype, and which one works better for you. Because let's say if your archetype in the real life is a hero, we have three of them. The first is hero, the second one will be king, and the third one will be a mother. That's why if in real life you are a mother, and if people know you as a mother, it doesn't mean that you have children. It's just a model of a tender and quiet behavior in order to support people, something like that. So if people know you as a person who usually do this, and if sometimes for some reason you appear in front of the camera and try to be not yourself, people, they feel this false intentions. That's why usually the plain and simple advice, be yourself, people, they treat it in an appropriate way, because they don't know what it is to be yourself. In this class we'll cover with you, we'll determine which one archetype is truly you, which one works better for you, and how to make this wow impression to your audience according to choosing the appropriate model of behavior. So let's just cover and let's determine that there are only three archetypes: hero, mother, and the king. And before I walk you in step by step through this archetype and how to use and how to apply each of them, ask yourself a question. In the real life, when you talk with people, when you have different situations, how do you react on that situations? Do you react in a tender, sympathetic way? Like, let's say if your girlfriend or your mom shares her success in life, or maybe some tragedy, some tragical moment. You remember we covered three different modes of this performing. It was tragedy, it was neutral, and encouraging. So if the person shares with you that moment of being in an upset state and condition, so what do you feel about that? Do you feel sorry for him? But be honest with yourself. Don't answer the way it should be answered, like, yes, I feel so sorry about him, but actually you do not. So how can we determine in order, like, now we have there are you and me, and we can be honest with each other. So please let me know, and let yourself know at least, how truly you will definitely react on that situation. Will you be sympathetic to that person, or you will be happy about that, like not very happy, but still like, oh, I told you it will be the same, it will be that way, so why didn't you listen to me, and why didn't you apply my advices? So how will you react to that situation? Why it is so important? Because imagine like you are the next opera. What will you and how you will react on that sympathetic topics? If the person make this coming out that he or she used to take drugs or something, how you will react? You're truly yourself. How you will react on that? Will you be very strict with that person, or your heart will melt and your heart will be with that person? Define that. If you see something like what inspires you, what excited you, how you will react on that? Will you be just describing your emotions, or you will be interacting with some props or something like, look at this microphone, it's super amazing. So will you react this way? Will you describe this way your feelings, or you just tell like, this microphone is the best solution for you? How you will react? Define that, and according to that first step, it gets you closer to which archetype you will be. So in few words, before we go inside and deep inside to that archetypes, let's say we have three of them: hero, king, and mother. Let's say in your reactions, in your actions in front of the camera, we can see you can perform that archetype. And why do we need that? Because it's like a triangle: your show, your audience, and you. Like three parts: your show, your audience, and you. There is a triangle. There are parts of something one, like united. That's why you can't just think about yourself. You can't just think about your audience expectations, or you can just think about I want to be a travel blogger and that's it. You need to find your intention, like what content do you want to create? Like if it's a psychological talk show, let it be. If there is an idea of creating a travel blog, let it be. Then you define what should be done there. If it's a travel blog, let's say it should be which one it should be actually. If you take a pen and create the list of adjectives, remember that my advice, that's my really insightful and groundbreaking advice. If you create the list of adjectives, like write it down, which show or which videos you would like to create. Outstanding, fantastic, touching, awesome, groundbreaking, sad, whatever you want, just put it on the paper. And then you'll see like which show do you want to start. Like let's say if it's a travel blog, let it be, but there is just a huge amount of travel blogs. Why yours will be a unique one? Why people should follow you and your ideas? So write down all of that features, and then get back to yourself. What type of person you are, like reliable, honest, vivid, active, energetic, everything like that, professional, open to new ideas. I opened, like something like that. So create those three lists. Which one will be your audience, which audience you would like to captivate, who you are actually, what type of personality you are, what describes you best, and what are your audience expectations, or what feelings maybe they want to experience with you in that channel, in that program. Once you state all of that three lists, it will give you the groundbreaking ideas. What type of show do you want to start? And at that moment starts the main and very important part of defining what archetype you are. How to define it? Watch the next episode.